It's a free period this Friday afternoon for seniors at the Nima St. Kizito Junior High School in Accra. Young people here have decided to catch up on some reading and homework. 14-year-old Prince Ameko is one of them. He is very careful about how he keeps his books. He will be expected to hand them down to his younger siblings.
My book is Cultural Studies for Junior Secondary Schools, given to me by my brother.
Okay. So what was the condition when you received the book?
He told me to keep it well because he also kept it well before he gave it to me, so that I can also give it to my junior sister so that she will use.
But so how are you making sure that you are keeping it well? Is there anything special you've done to the book?
Yes. I don't give it to my friends to use because they will also tear it. And I want to cover it, but I've not get the right cover yet because I want to use a sellotape. So by Sunday, I'll buy it and cover it.
And he's not the only one.
I cover them with sellotape so that I'll prevent them from spoiling or getting damaged.
Only sellotape?
Yeah, I prefer sellotape because it makes the cover hard.
So you've covered yours with brown paper and sellotape?
Yeah.
Why brown paper and sellotape?
Because it will make the cover very, very hard and it will prevent it from spoiling.
But don't you want to see the pictures on the book?
It might distract me from learning.
But not everyone has siblings to hand down books to. Someone like 14-year-old Paul Alombila will not be expected to give his books away. But he is still careful about how he keeps them. He even has a formula for opening some of the old books.
I've used this for almost 3 years.
And what will happen to this book when you leave GHS?
I'll probably give it to someone who needs it.
Okay. You're going to give it to them like this?
Yes. This one, I took care of it. If you ask me for it, I show you a way to open it so that it will last.
You have your own way to open
Yes.
it. Show us your way to open it.
You hold the tip end of the book and you open it like this. Do not clutch it like you're holding a hammer. That way it crumbles.
I see. Very interesting. The young people here all believe in preserving their books.
Books are, I would say, are my priority. I admire them a lot and I take them as friends. In the future, I might need the book for something.
Okay, guys, so for those of you who cover some of your books with brown paper, don't you want to see the pictures on the book?
That's the question I've also been asking myself, because since on the books they've drawn, there are pictures on the books and still the teachers still recommend us to cover it. So whenever they ask us to cover, I sit down and think, what about the pictures and the school logo that they've printed on the book? Don't they want it to show?
I'm against the fact that we shouldn't cover our books, because it's not the pictures or the writings on the cover that is important. It's what is in the book that is really important.
If you use sellotape to cover the book, water cannot get into contact with the book. But if you use brown paper, if water pours on the brown paper, it can get contact to the book.
So guys, how would you feel though if there were no more physical books like this and everything was on a computer or something? How would that make you guys feel?
I'll feel bored because whenever I want to learn, I have to go to the internet before I can get the opportunity to learn. But when a book is with you, anytime that you are free, you can take it and just continue listening.
Yeah, I don't like it because I think not all parents who have money to allow their children to study on the internet.
I'll feel very bad because, for instance, when there is a light out and you don't also know how to use the computer, you couldn't have the idea or mind to go to the cafe or computer in your house.
I feel comfortable when I'm carrying books around than carrying a computer around.
Me, from my personal experience, anytime that I'm working on the computer, my mother always say, I'm playing game. But when I'm writing, she always say, oh, my boy is learning. But she never knew if I'm on the computer, I'm always learning. So if the government bring policy that we should all use computers and not exercise book, I will not like it.
So these are my books. I found them in my room somewhere under some box or in some box somewhere. They both happen to be French books for some reason. I was looking for my social studies and cultural studies books, but I couldn't find them. But over the course of the years, I've gone back to try and reteach myself French. It hasn't worked out too well. But let's see. This one, my JHS 2 French book, I didn't cover it, but it still looks pretty good. That shows how much I used it. And this is my JHS 1 French book. I covered this one. Let's see how it looks. I'm going to remove the sellotape. There. This is it. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? So I guess it's safe to say that, I mean, it's great to preserve books. It's important. You can always go back and look at your old exercise books and see what you've done. Sometimes as you grow and get on in years, you forget a lot of the things you learn in junior high school. But hey, don't take my word for it. We're off to see a librarian who will tell us more about the importance of preserving books. This is the children's section of the Nima Community Library. Kate Aqua is library assistant here and is responsible for ensuring the library is always in check, especially how the books are kept.
We use plastics because the books, we clean them once a week. With the plastic, you use face towel with key soap. You just squeeze the water out of it, then use it to rub the plastic and all that. At times, some write with their pens at the back of the plastic. But when you use the soap and the face towel, all the pen and everything goes out of it.
Why is it important that books are preserved?
Books are preserved so that we can have old books still in our systems. Because if we don't preserve the books and we turn the pages in anyhow, we saw the books, we deform the books within a short time, the book will get out of the system. And when we are looking out for the same book, we can't get.
Do you have any tips for children out there on how to preserve their books better, how to make their books last longer? For example, you showed us how to open it from the top.
How you turn the pages is one. We normally ask them to turn the pages from the top here, so that this side will not deform. The child should wash his or her hand before using the book, so that it will not soil the book with the dirt. And when the child is eating, the child should finish eating, wash the hands very well before touching the book. And book shouldn't be folded this way, backward way. Because when you fold it, you turn the book in a backward way, you are rather breaking the line.